Hello to everyone from the world of Zone News. Let me tell you today about the 2023 Lexus RX 350 First Drive. 2023 Lexus RX 350 First Drive, finally. The Turbo RX arrives. The RX 350 delivers much-needed updates, without a V6. Aside from Tesla, nothing stands in the way of the Lexus RX. The present RX is just finishing up 7 long years on the market, yet the conveniently sized luxury SUV still dominates the Lexus sales charts. Although the alluring Model Y entrances buyers despite delivery delays and a near $70,000 starting price, the RX fights back with luxury, the reputation of the Lexus name, and staying power. Ever since the RX became MotorTrend's first SUV of the year for 1999, the Lexus has carved out a niche as an honest, luxury-focused soft-roader with right-sized packaging and no pretenses of off-road ability. And although it's largely more of the same with the latest generation 2023 RX 350, which boasts updated tech, a fresh design, and a new turbo i4 engine, the RX remains better off for it. Finally, the RX moves to a new platform for 2023. That presented Lexus an opportunity to cut weight, improve vehicle dynamics, add new tech, and offer a dizzying array of models. Previously offered as an RX 350 and RX 450h in 2- and 3-row variants only, the 2023 model now boasts a standard RX 350 model in addition to the RX 350h Hybrid, RX 450h Plus plug-in hybrid, and RX 500h performance-focused hybrid. There's no 3-row RX for now, but we hope the coming 3-row TX model does a better job of accommodating 6 or more passengers than the cramped RXL or GX ever could. The 2023 RX 350 should account for the lion's share of new RX sales. It trades its V6 for a 2.4-liter turbocharged inline-4 good for 275 horsepower and 317 lb-ft of torque under its lower and longer hood, with power routed through an 8-speed automatic transmission. That's less power but more torque than before, though we suspect most buyers will care far more about interior/exterior color combos than how many horses propel their RX. Fuel economy is up by 2 miles per gallon across the board over the outgoing V6 model, with an expected EPA rating of 2229 mpg city/highway with FWD and 2128 with AWD. Lexus estimates the sprint to 60 miles per hour will take 7.2 seconds with AWD and 7.5 with FWD, and that places the new RX 350 about half a second slower than the 2022 model. Out on the open road, the RX 350's 4-cylinder stays mostly in the background, which is exactly where it belongs. Lexus smartly mutes the engine because even in F-Sport guys, the RX is a luxury-first SUV. Well, it might also be because the engine doesn't sing quite like the turbo i4 in the smaller Acura RDX. For the RX 350, we didn't detect any significant turbo lag, nor did the experience at idle raise any eyebrows. Some engines produce too much of a rumble or vibration after simply turning them on. The only RX 350 engine drawback we encountered was how it sounded at moderate to full acceleration, a little unrefined to our ears. But that's not where RX 350 owners will spend most of their time. This is a cruiser first, though ironically, after sampling every 2023 RX, we detected the most steering feel in the RX 350. The RX 8-speed automatic is responsive and smooth, but again, anyone expecting anything sportier might be better served buying something else. Having said that, the ride on the RX 350F Sport model has a touch of firmness, but it's never uncomfortable. Interior quality and luxury is a big part of Lexus RX appeal, and we can comment definitely on the latter. The test SUVs Lexus provided were pre-production prototypes and didn't quite represent the quality of the models you'll see on dealer lots, but the attention to detail was still there. Almost every surface looks great or feels soft, down to the interior door pulls and the sides of the center console. We spent time in 2023 RX models across the trim walk, and even the lower trim model had enough design and luxury feel to make it worthy of the L badge. That said, we'd suggest an upgrade from the standard and premium models in order to enlarge the infotainment system from the 9.8-inch to the 14.0-inch touchscreen, which is available on the 2023 RX Premium Plus, Luxury, and F Sport handling trims. It's simply a better daily experience. Keep in mind that these two screens do double duty, with on-screen NAV and audio info as well as HVAC controls. Suddenly, those 9.8 inches don't go as far as you think, especially if you like a split-screen experience with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Either way, the new infotainment logic works great, and you can try some controls via voice command. Pro tip: say reduce fan speed instead of turn the air down, otherwise the temperature will dip in your RX. Although the infotainment screen is a real improvement for RX buyers, the digital instrument cluster remains in need of a redo. A full digital screen isn't available, but a 7.0-inch display is standard on every model. We'd accept that on a lower trim, but we'd like to see Lexus integrate a full digital display option, which is becoming increasingly available industry-wide. As it is, the RX display gets the job done but can feel a bit cramped with info at times. More isn't always better, but in this case it definitely is. Part of what has made the RX so compelling is its convenient midsize packaging. That hasn't changed with the 2023 RX350, which has a spacious back seat and cargo area that can swallow more stuff than before. Even so, the bloat that impacts so much of this industry is nowhere to be found. The updated RX350 is the rare vehicle that gives you room to stretch out without making you feel like you need to hold your breath as you carefully ease into a parking spot. Although the new RX wheelbase has been stretched, Lexus managed to keep its overall length exactly the same. So you still won't feel as in command as you might from behind the wheel of a BMW X5, but that competitor's back seat isn't as spacious as you'd think. Even if it were, however, the BMW's price starts above 60 grand, which brings us back to the RX350. No, the 2023 RX350's performance isn't exceptional, but again, that's not what it's about. Instead, it's about delivering Lexus luxury with modern tech in a good-sized SUV. And yes, there's room for improvement, but the 2023 RX350 is a vehicle that continues to burnish the RX well-worn reputation as a solid combination of luxury, value, and space, one we're confident will continue to resonate with buyers for years to come.